So hey everybody, welcome back to Gen Zen here on Tune Up Tuesday. I'm Jennifer Clark, your host for the show. We put the soul back into solutions one person at a time, one question at a time, one meditation at a time. I'm in a fun, funky mood today, can you tell? Today we're going to talk about how to pick a spiritual teacher, guide, or guru, or someone that you want to work with, really, whatever that is. First of all, we want to always go with your gut. It's a feeling energy. There has to be some kind of compatibility, obviously, trust, and an energy exchange. So teachers do not want students who don't listen to them, who, don't want to take the advice or do the homework or, hey, everyone, kind of listen, right? Because it becomes a little futile after a while if you kind of are asking or answering the same question over and over again. Good teachers like myself, good guides like myself will actually fire clients. And I've had the pleasure of firing a few for their good, their highest good and my own. You want someone like a teacher, a guide, a guru who doesn't want you or need you. In the sense that you don't want to create a following. You don't want to be someone's fan. You don't want to fawn over someone. You want someone to share wisdom, teachings, or experience with you that will help you with your own. And that's the other rule that I tell people to watch out for, is look for experience. So you've got a lot of these spiritual teachers. Like, I took a course online and now I'm a card reader. Again, great for Hay House Academy, great for Mind Valley. They're doing a lot of that kind of stuff now. Learning online is not my issue. It's the practice and the experience that's required as a result of that training. So you get a lot of people having maybe textbook knowledge, but they don't actually have a lot of lived experience. They haven't done practice sessions. They haven't done case studies. They haven't, engaged with people. So I would sort of, tend to suggest people go to people with experience. Not saying don't go to someone new, because again, everyone starts somewhere, right? But it's the level of their humility, their graciousness, and their desire to be of service that you kind of want to assess. And again, you do want to find people that have a lived experience of something, especially the thing that you're looking for. Again, I don't teach on a lot of topics because those are my still work in progress areas in my life. Like, you're not going to see me talk about physical health. I know about it in general. I know it's the 5-pointed star. It's your physical left leg, your financial is your right leg, and being the 5-pointed star, the Verdivirian man, is sort of the human becoming godlike. That is the concept. But again, those are to my weak areas. So you're not going to be seeing me, touch that platform. I will bring in an expert. I will bring in someone that has achieved that kind of success. So you want someone to demonstrate that they've lived, not learned. Okay, we want learning and living, and those two have to go hand in hand, especially with energy medicine, spirituality, psychic stuff. A lot of people are waking up quickly, which is amazing, but they don't know how to hold space. They don't know how to necessarily communicate their messages with integrity, with grounding, without ego. And let me just say, as someone who's evolved in 20 years, I've also been that person that has spoke, from ego, has spoken perhaps out of emotion as opposed to balance. I'm a way different person today than I was 5 years ago. 2 years ago, again, you guys know the death of my sister really cracked everything open. A lot of shells, a lot of armor, kind of got blown up, and it's much more authentic, much more real, and I'm a way better teacher. So I've actually had to live something, through pain and loss to kind of come back to the stage or the platform to help people understand and communicate better. So you kind of want someone, with that kind of experience, that's had some kind of life experience or success, proving their area of expertise, whatever that must be. Also, go with your gut. So not everyone is going to match up. So there may be an amazing teacher with wisdom teachings and, a person that just don't mesh because their personalities vibe off of each other. I mean, there's a million frequencies in the universe, and while they all are one, they don't necessarily always attract. I've certainly had my share of clients that just don't like me on site, and I'm okay with that. I don't take it personally because they have to find someone that's a match. I've also done the same, where a client will come. I'm not running after the money. I'm not running after the clients. I'm here to be of service. If I can help you, great. And if I can't, I have lots of other things to do. So you don't want someone to chase you either, support you, empower you. You also don't want a teacher that's going to keep you student. I know when I teach in my 11-month program, the Angelic Ascension Program, I just forgot what I called it, the Angelic Ascension Program for the Evolving Human, it's really, really important that the circle is there, that, for a moment I'm facilitating something for you guys, but I am learning from each person in the tribe because we all have life experiences that are different. We have things that are common. We also have, information comes from students and teachers. So pick someone that's not going to keep a hard line on the student or teacher. Also pick someone that can handle being compassionately criticized. I've had a few teachers in the last little while that really couldn't handle feedback. And it's one thing to say, let me think about it, I don't agree with you. And it's another to say, my ego can't handle it. So you kind of want to talk to someone who also is an evolving human, that recognize they're flawed. Never talk to someone who's enlightened. If they say that, they're not. So, warning 101, be aware of that. You want someone involved, typically ahead of you on some sort of platform. But it's a ladder. We're all helping each other up, right? So at some point I might get stuck, you pull me up, and I pull you up, and so on. So giving feedback, and again, people in the public eye, I also know this, that you get a lot of, noise. You get a lot of squawking people. Everyone's got an opinion about my hair, the way I move, the way I talk, the way I swear, whatever. And at some point, as someone who does, step out in the public a lot, you just have to have a thicker skin. So I'm not saying, again, that teachers can't say, thank you for sharing and bug off, go smudge yourself, because it's their right as well. But if it's a real core issue, if it's something, germane to their own growth, and they're not willing to see it, they're not willing to admit, like, I'm sorry, thank you for sharing that, I'm going to meditate on that, that's my shadow, or I'm weak in some place. Authenticity right now is the game. And in any, from politics to public service, whatever your space is, it's really being authentic. And people who aren't authentic are really quickly being found out that they're full of shit, and not in a good way. So just be aware that being authentic is important, from your leader, your teacher, your guide, your guru, your facilitator. Super important, and super important, they're willing to let you grow. Willing to let you grow, these are my 2 rules. Willing to let you grow and willing to let you go. Again, I don't necessarily want any clients or any students. I just want an evolved society where I can just dance and do my thing. Until then, I'm going to help people get along, get going, get up the ladder, get to the next stage, so we can all play, nicely with each other. So watch someone who's wanting you, to stay in a certain vibration, not evolve, and not stand up and teach. A good teacher will actually make you the teacher and sit down and have a cup of coffee or tea and watch. So, watch, again, I've encountered I've been a part of a lot of systems that if you evolve past the teacher or the facilitator, they get really nervous. So that's their ego. In a sense, we're birthing children when we have a program or a therapy or a way of doing something, a system that you've created. even if it's copyrighted, that's the world of man, you know, a copyrighted experience. If that person is not willing to let others take it and evolve it, then they're also in ego and fear, and probably not the best place for you to be. Again, always take what you can from people and then walk away with gratitude for the experience, even if it was a bad experience. You know, I constantly thank all my teachers that were good and bad, all the people that have supported me and have stabbed me in the back, because they've all taught me something. When you have that ability to be flexible and not afraid, a lot more choices appear. Great opportunities online these days. And if you're in the Ottawa area, oh my gosh, tons and tons and tons and tons of options. You know, go with some of these rules, go with some of your gut instincts, try a sample, look for someone with a funnel where you can sort of sample their work without having to invest a lot, whether it's this kind of online portal, they have maybe free webinars, whether they have a meditation night or a group experience that's low cost, low risk, and then decide if you're going to kind of walk the walk with them with more money and more attention and time. Always test things out, because sometimes you don't see the cracks until you're inside. And again, I've had a lot of revelations. You know, I've done 5,000 interviews between my radio show, my television show, and a lot of them were A-list teachers. Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra, you know, Doreen Virtue, Debbie Ford, and some of them, not necessarily the ones I've just named. When you get behind the screen, Wizard of Oz, you know, that literally happens. You see the short little guy behind the facade. Oh, I'm the Wizard of Oz. But then when you get to the back, you know, you're like, oh, there are some flaws there. So there are people in the world with great knowledge. They're not necessarily evolved. They're not necessarily spiritual in every arena of their lives. So they may be a dick, but they're super smart in this. So again, you have to sometimes weigh your needs. Is if they're good at what they're teaching, then you can sort of maybe ignore some of the other, and sometimes you just can't. Like I can't be in a spiritual development workshop where the teacher's full of shit. And I have actually stepped out and walked away from a few of them in the last little while, because I just can't do it anymore. Like my integrity, you know, just won't allow it. I remember one story. This was sort of in my mid-career phase. I bought a workshop for me and my mom for Mother's Day to go. I don't want to say who it is, but it was a famous psychic teacher. She was the psychic to Debbie Moore and Brad Pitt, and she was coming to Toronto. I was a fan of her books. Her books are amazing. We drive to Toronto, we show up, and the whole event was a shit show. We paid about $1,000 each for the weekend, high, even then, a lot of money. And I was just so not impressed with the organization and the flow. Then I tried to think, okay, maybe the event organizer is a little off. But then when I met this woman, I was like, oh my God, it's you. And we actually left that night. We actually did not stay to feel it out, or we actually just walked away because we knew it wasn't going to be a good use of our time. So the idea there was we operated under the system of, if I was rich, if I was resourceful, if I loved myself, if I valued my time, if I had all the resources I wanted and needed, would I stay in this relationship? Would I stay in this event? Would I stay here? And the answers to all those questions at that moment were no, get out, go home, you know, go do something else. So even though I was out money, did not get a refund, the drive, you know, the whole sort of investment, we really felt for us, the lesson was about leaving, then staying and sucking it up. So just take that with a grain of salt. So sometimes you're being presented those opportunities to evolve and grow as well. You know, reach out. I mean, a lot of people lately have been coming to me feeling unwell and off. When I sort of pinpoint, you know, with the coaching, I kind of say, like, you know, what have you been doing on a daily basis? So they first say, I'm doing a lot. I'm doing a lot. I hear, I'm doing a lot. I'm doing so much. I'm doing so much. I'm doing so much. I don't know why I feel this way. So I say, okay, tell me what the so much is. Well, I did this, I did some Reiki, okay. So every day, what are you doing? Pause, blank stares. And I'm like, do you not have a daily practice? What do you do daily? Pause, blank stares. I'm like, so you're not doing so much. You think you are, but you're not. So sometimes the homework, the solutions, the remedies have to be done on a daily basis. So we're at the point in the rabbit hole where, by August, people are going to lose their mind. People who haven't healed their wounded archetypes, their childhood pain, their unresolved issues are really going to have a mental breakdown by the time the frequency of 2018 hits the month of August. So I encourage all of you who've already been given therapies, remedies, and especially people who've come to see me and have a homework assignment that's still outstanding. Now's the time to start. Today's the day. Do one small thing every day for yourself. When that becomes a habit, add in something new, whether it's a dietary change, a mindset change, a gratitude journal, a breathing exercise, a meditation, a sea salt bath, whatever it is you need to do to sort of incorporate it into your life. Let's start building up your reservoirs because it's cumulative. Nobody's remedy is done once and then that's it. Healing is a lifelong pursuit of happiness. It is done every day. So you have to have a practice on some level to keep yourself aligned and balanced these days. And if you don't, please try to figure out something that you can do, whether it's on the bus, in the car, in the washroom breaks. I teach people how to do 5-minute moments in washrooms and private times or at lunch times. There's a lot of things you can do differently to help your energy just sort of balance and get grounded. For those of you who are interested, go back to my earlier, I think it was last week's tips on Ottawa Buzz TV. You'll see a whole bunch of tips there. So guys, thanks for the chat today. Hopefully this was helpful to you in some way. And again, if you need my help, I'm happy to work with serious people who are interested in their spiritual development and their soul's evolution. Hit me up at jenniferclark.ca. All right, guys, so I hope you have a great week. And please be mindful, be a good teacher and be a good student. All right. Remember, when it's dark outside, keep the light on. See you next time.